Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years. In a few moments, the news. HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The evening news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, read by Soundithavam. Further consideration of the petitions filed challenging the Colombo Port City Economic Commission draft bill postponed until tomorrow. The Samagi Jana Balawegaya proposes amendments to the Colombo Port City Economic Commission bill. The Cardinal requests the public to observe 2-minute silence on Wednesday. All universities will open on the 27th of this month. The Sri Lanka Podujana Perumana leaders decide to hold only a May Day rally following health guidelines. In foreign news, Delhi announces lockdown as COVID cases surge. In sports cricket, Dilhara Lokohettige banned for 8 years for breaching the ICC's anti-corruption code. The Supreme Court has postponed until tomorrow further consideration of the petitions filed challenging the Colombo Port City Economic Commission draft bill. The court postponed further consideration of the petitions until 10 a.m. tomorrow. The consideration of the petitions commenced this morning before a 5-member judge bench of the Supreme Court. The Samagi Jana Balawegaya today proposed some amendments to the Colombo Port City Economic Commission bill and urged the government to bring the commission under Parliament. Chief Opposition Whip Lakshman Kiriyalla at a press conference urged the government to bring in an amendment to the legislation to make provisions for the Committee on Public Enterprises and Committee on Public Accounts to monitor the proposed commission and to introduce another amendment prohibiting money laundering within the port city. The Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Pieris, announced that a decision has been taken to reopen all universities in Sri Lanka on the 27th of April. Addressing a press briefing in Colombo today, he said that the universities will be reopened for academic activities while strictly following health guidelines. However, he said that due to an issue existing with regard to reopening hostels, only third-year and fourth-year students will be brought in at the start. Classes for the first-year and second-year students are expected to commence afterwards, the minister said, adding that all necessary arrangements required to conduct university examinations have been organised by the University Grants Commission. The Ministry of Education says that the school vacation at the end of the second term, scheduled in August, has been limited to 1 week. Schools are functioning at present under strict health guidelines. Students have been called to classes in groups. Therefore, the education authorities say that more time is needed for academic activities. The party leaders of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumana met under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa this morning at Temple Trees. They have discussed celebrating the May Day, which falls on the 1st of next month. They have paid attention on holding only the May Day rally, following health guidelines without processions due to the coronavirus risk. Former President Maithripala Sirisena, head of the Presidential Task Force Basil Rajapaksa, Ministers G.L. Pieris, Dinesh Gunawardena and several parliamentarians attended the discussion. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says that the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine will be given to the people from the beginning of next month. Meanwhile, Chief Epidemiologist Dr. Sudat Samaravira said that the first dose of the Covishield vaccine has been given to 925,242. The Minister of Highways, Johnston Fernando, said that 349 million rupees was earned from expressways during the 11 days of the festive season. More than 1,236,288 vehicles have used the Colombo-Katunayake Expressway, Outer Circular Highway and the Southern Expressway during that period. The highest number of vehicles that used expressways during this period was on 10th of April. Accordingly, 141,187 vehicles used the expressways, and that the income earned on the 10th of April was over 38 million rupees. Mr. Mohan Samranayaka has assumed duties as the new Director General of the Department of Government Information. Mr. Samranayaka had been serving as the Director General of the President's Media Division before he was appointed as the head of the Government Information Department. The coordinating officer of the Attorney General, State Counsel Nishara Jayaratna, said that the Attorney General Dappula Dilivera has filed an appeal before the Supreme Court challenging the order of the trial at bar granting bail to the bond scam suspects. On the 1st of April, former Minister Ravi Karunanayaka and 7 suspects who were accused in another bond scam case were granted bail by the trial at bar. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
A 49-year-old female councillor of the Maharagama Municipal Council has been arrested over an alleged assault on another female councillor. Police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana said a 47-year-old female councillor was admitted to the Sri Javadapura hospital claiming that she was assaulted on the 15th of April at the Maharagama Municipal Council. The Maharagama police initiated investigation into the incident following a complaint. Reigning Mrs. World Caroline Jury and former model Chula Padmendra have been released on bail by the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court today over the incident which took place at Mrs. Sri Lanka pageant on the 4th of April. Caroline and Chula Padmendra were arrested by the Cinnamon Gardens police on the 8th of April over the incident and later released on police bail. The magistrate ordered them to be released on a 100,000 rupee surety bail. According to the central bank's daily exchange rates, the Sri Lankan rupee has further appreciated against the US dollar, with the buying rate of the dollar dropping to 187.93 rupees today. The selling rate of the US dollar has meanwhile reached 191.97 rupees. This is the first time the selling rate has dropped below the 200 mark since the 15th of March 2021. This is also the lowest selling rate of the US dollar recorded after the 8th of January 2021. That's local news.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, today requested the public to observe 2 minutes silence at 8:45 a.m. on April 21st as a mark of respect for the victims of the Easter Sunday bombings. Cardinal Ranjit stated that they decided to request all communities in the country to observe 2 minutes silence. He said that the Catholic churches in the country will be observing the 2 minutes silence and that all Catholics in Sri Lanka have also been requested to do the same. He said that all Catholic churches in the island have been asked to ring bells at 8:45 a.m. and observe 2 minutes of silence. Afterwards, candles or oil lamps will be lit in remembrance of the victims of the Easter attacks, followed by various religious observances. The Archbishop said that he will be participating in the main service at St. Anthony's Church in Kochikade, along with several other religious leaders, diplomats and dignitaries. That came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. S.M. Arnold, said people who violate COVID-related health guidelines would have to face legal action. He told the media that the Health Ministry would not hesitate to take strict action if people continued to act irresponsibly. He requested people to pay special attention to adhering to the health guidelines to prevent the possible COVID clusters from emerging in the country. That came to you in Watchlight, a bulletin of world news up next.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this Urdu season. People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Making world news headlines, Delhi announces lockdown as COVID cases surge. Bangladesh cracks down on Islamist group after anti-Modi protests. And Iran says open to talks with Saudi Arabia. India's capital Delhi has announced a week-long lockdown after a record spike in cases overwhelmed the city's healthcare system. Government officers and essential services such as hospitals, pharmacies and grocers will be open during the lockdown, which starts today. The city imposed a weekend curfew but reported its highest single-day spike so far yesterday, which was 24,462 cases. India has been reeling from a deadly second wave since the start of April. Hundreds of members and supporters of an Islamist group, including its influential leader, have been arrested in Bangladesh over the past week. Officials said it was over deadly protests against the visit of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi last month for the country's Golden Jubilee celebrations of independence. The protests across several districts in Bangladesh were mostly led by the Hefazat-e-Islam group. Their members accused India's Hindu nationalist leader of stoking religious polarization and discriminating against minorities, particularly Muslims, in his country. Iran's foreign ministry has said the country is open to direct talks with Saudi Arabia after media reports said the two regional rivals recently held secret talks in the Iraqi capital. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Saeed Khatibzadeh today refused to confirm or deny the reported talks on the 9th of April in Baghdad. He added that media outlets have used contradictory quotes and have had a history of fabricating news. He was referring to reports by the London-based newspaper Financial Times and news agency Reuters. Back to the headlines of the world news. Delhi announces lockdown as COVID cases surge. Bangladesh cracks down on Islamist group after anti-Modi protests. And Iran says open to talks with Saudi Arabia. And that's world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this Urdu season. People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Taking a look at development news, the Urban Development Authority is gearing to call requests for proposals for development activities in 5 identified land slots around the Beira Lake within the next 3 months. It is under the proposed master plan to develop the Beira Lake and the surrounding area, which has been finalized. According to the UDA, the Beira Lake and the surrounding area contains around 200 acres of marketable land. That's development news, and looking on to sports. Cricket first. Former Sri Lanka player Dilhara Lokohettige has been banned from all cricket for 8 years after an ICC anti-corruption tribunal found him guilty of breaching the ICC anti-corruption code. The International Cricket Council said in a statement that the ban for Mr. Lokohettige is backdated to the 3rd of April 2019, when he was provisionally suspended. Meanwhile, Sri Lankan spin legend Muthaiya Muralidharan, who underwent a successful coronary angioplasty with stents yesterday, has been discharged from Chennai's Apollo Hospital. The hospital said that Muralidharan could resume his normal activities. He is the bowling coach of Sunrisers Hyderabad, who are currently playing their Indian Premier League 2021 matches in Chennai. On to football news. UEFA, the Premier League and UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson have condemned 12 major European clubs, including the Big Six from England, signing up to a breakaway European Super League. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United and Tottenham are part of the group. Meanwhile, Jose Mourinho has been sacked by Tottenham after just 17 months in charge. The Portuguese replaced Mauricio Pochettino as Spurs manager in November 2019. In rugby news, reigning champions Leeds Rhinos got off to a flyer in round 1 of the Women's Super League, but their title rivals all made big statements as well. Rhinos beat York City Knights 68-16 with a huge second-half display, but that was surpassed by St Helens' 86-0 victory over Bradford Bulls. The grand final runners-up, Castleford Tigers, won their local derby against Featherstone Rovers 40-6. Wigan Warriors thrashed newcomers Warrington 52-8 to pick up 2 points. All that came to you in sports news. Business news up next.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Bitulink Emulsion Private Limited, the leading bulk supplier of bitumen in Sri Lanka, reaffirmed its significance at the CNCI Achiever Awards 2020 by receiving 2 awards. Contesting under the manufacturing sector, the extra-large category, the company won the National Merit Award and the Provincial Silver Award. The event was organised by the Ceylon National Chamber of Industries and was held at the Hotel Galadari, Colombo, with Vimal Veeravansa, Minister of Industries, gracing the occasion as the chief guest. That's business news, economic news up next.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News. Courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The latest World Bank Sri Lanka Development Update, Economic and Poverty Impact of COVID-19 says, despite the heavy toll of COVID-19 pandemic on Sri Lanka's economy and the lives of its people, the economy will recover in 2021. Though challenges remain. The report notes that the country, hit with an unprecedented economic downturn due to the pandemic, is now on the road to recovery. Sri Lanka's economic growth is expected to recover to 3.4% in 2021, mainly due to foreign investments, as well as normalizing tourism and other economic activities. That's economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In the weather report, the Met Department says that showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in the Sabragama, Western, Central, Uva and Southern provinces. Showers may occur in the Western province and in the Gaul, Matara and Puttalam districts during the morning. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. Further consideration of the petitions filed challenging the Colombo Port City Economic Commission draft bill postponed until tomorrow. The Samagi Jana Balavegaya proposes amendments to the Colombo Port City Economic Commission bill. The Cardinal requests the public to observe 2-minute silence on Wednesday. All universities will open on the 27th of this month. The Sri Lanka Podujana Perumana leaders decide to hold only a May Day rally following health guidelines. Delhi announces lockdown as COVID cases surge. And Ilhara Lokuhettige banned for 8 years for breaching the ICC anti-corruption code. That concludes this evening's news broadcast, and now it's back to your friend and mine, NA, across the glass pane, to keep you entertained right to the end of transmission at 10 o'clock. All yours, Niranjan, to keep our listeners entertained.